Okay, hi, it's me, Sadhana Lakshmi Devi, Sonia Katzen, and then how you know me, Jai Shri Ram. And these are the teaching notes that correspond to manuals and things that I already have online, and I've been asked to do an audio, so you're getting an audio slash video of this, and I'm just going off of my teacher notes. This is stuff that comes into class and we usually go over, so I'm doing this so I only have to say it once, although I've done many takes today. So this is an advanced energy working class, so I'm assuming that you have some basic knowledge of the chakras and the spiritual, mental, and etheric aspects of the body, being human. So, okay, moving along. We're getting started, depending on how you want to look at it. There are, when we talk about the chakras, there are 7 chakras that are in the body, and there are 5 that are outside of the body. So these open to the light and activate the 12-strand DNA. The 8th, its activity is above the head. The 9th corresponds to the feeling body of the self. The 10th, the solar system and how the planets have an effect on us, which it'd be totally valid right now to mention the Mercury retrograde that we're in. The 11th relates to the galactic. And the 12th is anchored in universal, so this is feeling our connection to the earth and to the universe, the divine mind. This is a huge vortex of energy. If you listen to Abraham Hicks's work, and they're speaking about the vortex, that's often what they're referring to, the ether, vibrations. And here's where you're really able to access willingness to change and allowing the light codes to affect the mental, physical, spiritual body for deeper healing and activate the DNA. Okay. So the 7th chakra, these cords connect up and higher, okay? Which is what I just said. I just sort of gave a quick overview of them. So this is the divine mind and the powers to be, okay? So this is where we can perfect a pattern or perfect a pattern of relationship and really integrate things into our physical and spiritual worlds and how we relate to things outside of us and inside of us. So this is also the has to do with the soul life, the life of the soul. So in between incarnations and whether or not you have a relationship to God, to source energy. So I'm going to sort of skip down for a minute. So we just talked about the 7th chakra. So the 5th level of the aura, right, is divine will. And this is our primal level of all form. This is where symbols come into play, how we relate to symbols. And the color that corresponds with this would be cobalt blue light in healing. Visualize a blue light. And this is also the throat, so throat chakra. and connecting. And here's where we connect our divine will with what is in our heart. So now the sixth, which is right above the fifth, right? So we've gone from seventh, and then I skipped down, and we're going into the sixth level of aura is divine, that divine love. This can be inspired, familiar, it's to do with desire and connecting to the soul's deeper longing and faith and hope. Okay, and then we'll go back into the seventh, which is divine mind. Okay, and this relates to our core star, or your eternal source, your essence of self, and the way you relate to the world. And here's where surrender, giving into, surrendering to source, surrendering to that longing, and sort of shutting outside world influences to receive, either receive or follow through those higher messages, or the divine mind or divine heart. And so here's where our hara alignment comes in to play. You'll hear in Reiki practice, you'll hear, or in energy work, hear the mentioning of the hara. So the hara alignment connects to the core star. And here's where you can visualize white light, visualize a white line from the soul seat, so and out through the crown of the head. So if you were to visualize yourself, miniature you in a lotus, from there radiating white light out from the top of the crown, out from the heart, and down through the center line of the body into the earth. So the alignment of the core star affects the aura, the hara, and the physical body. Okay, because you're going to start to manifest things in your life, or you can manifest healing in the physical body, and manifest actual tangible material things in your outside world. So here's where you can really bring creative energy, and the hara, and the divine task. You can align things from here, from the heart center. So, taking your task and allowing that desire to flow out from you, flowing out from love of self, and then the giving of that to your creation, carrying out from the center of your being. So, ways that we can affect the chakras with energy and color and sound, vibration. I'm just going to quickly go through the 7 chakras in the body and the color that correspond to them, and the musical note. Okay? So the 7th is white, and the note is G. The 6th is indigo, the note is D. The 5th is blue, and the note is A. The 4th is green, and the note is G. The 3rd is yellow, and the note is F. The 2nd is orange, and the note is D. And the 1st is red, and the note is G, just right below middle C. And I can't remember if that's a G minor or G major, but right below middle C. You could probably even use middle C in there. So I have some notes from Barbara Breenan's book, the Hands of Light, which is a wonderful book, which I think she wrote in the early 80s. I became aware of that book in 86. So I don't necessarily want to go into what would be the abnormal mental thought patterns that start to affect the body energetically, because that will take us off somewhere place else, and I want to save that for a different training. But I want to mention it just for a moment here. So she has things written down from like the main issue, and simplistically, you know, it could be fear, and then different personality types, and how these things can manifest differently or show up differently with different mental components, whether it's schizoid, oral, psychopathic, masochistic, and rigid. Okay. So it's just something to know about that chart. We can go over it later on. Okay, I hope that I can go over this. Okay. So when you have your primary creative force that we were just talking about, that core star and the Hara and our auric alignments, you have this primary creative force is moving into denser layers of manifestation. We want to take that manifestation from the root base level, since we're just talking about the first chakra being red and base level, and that's very primary and based on survival and material, very lowly, you know, worldly, what is right here, you know, type of expression. So the patterns for manifesting an energy and the way that affects the aura and the chakras is you're going to have to go, it goes from, you've got your physical, mental, emotional, etheric, and physical, right? Then you have your astral, okay? There's a graduation of light from there, and then it goes beyond that and into the spiritual, into the higher, the divine. So it's finer substance, it's a higher energy, and a higher vibration. So when you're hearing her talk about, oh, you got to raise your vibration, you got to raise your vibration. So the love and the vibration that they're talking about is not the Disney type romantic love, which would be based in that first chakra, very sexual and just need-based. It's higher, it's subtler. Think about how I want to explain that a little bit more. So, okay, so in the expression of the consciousness, in the auric levels, so we have the seventh, which is the Ketheric, right? We were just talking about the 7 chakras, and then we're going to go from higher to lower, okay? So here's our Ketheric. I'm doing this all day. Etheric, okay. And the expression of that, higher concepts, and then the statement that you could use to get into that is, I know and I am, okay? And the 6th, celestial, higher feelings, would be I love and understanding, compassion. Coming back down to the etheric and the 5th, this is more like the template, right? Higher will and I will. I will this, or willing this, okay? Fourth is astral. So these are, the I, emotions. So I love, I love this mug, or I love that piece of music or something. That's fourth sort of astral expression. Or statement to go with the expression. The second is emotional, and that's very personal emotions. That's that feeling physically. So when I was mentioning the type of love or the raising the vibration, that's what I was referring to. And the first, physical functioning. So I exist and I am becoming. So becoming would imply that you are not there yet, or it's not there yet, right? Something that you're working on, striving for. Okay. So in the creative process and the creative process of health, and everything being that I teach, all the practices that I have here, they're all heart-based practices. They are all heart-based teaching. And it is a creative process. It's not necessarily just a exercise regime or routine. It is a flowing, creative type of process. So in the creative process of health, again, we're going to go through this chart sort of rather quickly. You have the etheric template, which would be divine knowing, and this is the I know I am one with God. So this is a much higher concept, okay? And you have your celestial body, divine loving. So the statement of that would be, I love life universally. Etheric, the divine will, so thine will, thy will, and mine are one. Astral body, loving, I love everybody. Mental, just be clear thinking and the implementing of love and will together. Emotional, it's very real, it's very feeling, and this is natural. I'm talking about this, the emotional part, we're talking about the natural, unblocked flow of feelings. This is what I am feeling in this moment, this is how it is, and giving the validation to those feelings that you're having in the moment, and also being aware that it's an emotional response, so it's going to pass. That emotion is going to pass through you. It's a temporal state. It's not a state of permanence. So this corresponds to divine reality, and this is what creates that higher love, divine love. Okay, so.